What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Jack Ramsey's post-game show. I'm Danny Morang, joined as always by Brandon Sprague and bleepity bleepity bleep bleep bleep. Speaking of bleepity bleep, breaking news: Jason Quick stopped Jody Allen as she was leaving the arena and asked her if she had an update on the investigation in Neil O'Shea. Let me read quote for quote from Jason. As she was leaving the arena, flanked by her security detail, I asked Trailblazers chair Jody Allen about the investigation in Neil O'Shea, which is now a month old. I don't have any comment right now, she said without stopping.
Okay. I'll say this. Quick. This is not quick. This is just me. I'm diving in here. I really don't care. I'm not a journalist. I know she's probably at a legal standpoint where she can't say anything, but feels like that's the kind of answer you give when you know that he's coming back, but they just got their ass kicked by 31. So it's the worst possible night to say anything.
I would think maybe leave the floor a little early on that one.
I would think, how about just not show up to the games anymore? Can we stop this charade that you give a shit? You're going to get on PJ. You're going to fly back to Seattle tonight. You'll find your cabana boy tomorrow morning, and then you'll get back to your own personal life.
Wow.
You're right. They're not cabana boys. They're usually ex-military that she likes. That's more her type.
Ooh, that one cut a little deep.
Well, it only cuts deep because it's true.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. We're getting post-game comments in right away. Chauncey Bills, for the first 4 or 5 shots, we didn't shoot one good shot. I call those shooting turnovers. Remind me again, who got the first 4 or 5 shots tonight?
Was his name Christian?
No, they started the game.
Oh, Yusuf Nurkic.
They started the game with Big Nurk. Remember that? I said, let me go ahead and call it this matchup tonight because I don't think anybody really sees this one coming. Jakob Poeltl versus Yusuf Nurkic. Nurk got his ass whooped.
Yeah, this is becoming a running theme.
It wasn't close.
Well, can we just admit can we say the thing that we need to say out front? That God bless the Thunder for losing by 73.
Yeah, because now the Blazers on the story. The Blazers on the story as far as how bad they were. There was 2 things that needed to not happen tonight. You needed to give a shit. That didn't happen. And you needed to not let the Spurs, who are the worst 3-point shooting team in the league, do relatively well. They ended up almost 40% on 14 makes. They hit 11 of them in the first half. This game, they could have been OKC tonight.
Well, they weren't that far away. I mean, 73-31, okay.
But I mean, still. They could have lost by 50. If the Spurs continued shooting, which is a big ask, they could have lost by 50 tonight.
I mean, you play the Warriors this way.
Oh, you play any good team this way, you were getting cool. I mean, they got cooked.
So the first half was hard to watch. Second half was even harder, even though they kind of made it. I think they got to, 10 or 11 or whatever it was. Here's the thing, though. We have talked about how this team, it's a little bit of fool's gold. Like, we think they're just waiting to connect it, and they've got this home record. But we've also pointed out who they've beaten, when they've beaten them, who's on the court. Tonight was reminiscent to me of Chicago. You had an awful, atrocious first half. The difference was San Antonio was up by more, and you couldn't come back from that deficit. Yes. Chicago was up 23, the way they probably should have been when they played. Blazers aren't beating Chicago. No. So it's like there's a little bit of tell in this team. And I know they're banged up right now, but there's a little bit of a tell in this team where I think if everybody's being honest, they're just not good. Like, they're just not a very good team.
They're meh.
And we know it, but tonight you shouldn't be getting waxed by 31 by the Spurs, man. Like, not on your home court.
I've seen a lot of this lately, and at least for me, I think you and I are kind of in the same boat. This is not a full tank situation. It's a massive shift situation. But as long as you have Damian Lillard, you're not packing it up entirely. You're not sending everyone out.
Not unless you're just to the point where it's so dark for you that you have sympathy for Lillard and you want him to go win a championship.
I don't care. I'm never going to be like that. As long as he's under contract and he's here and he doesn't want to be forced out, then...
No. It's not to that point. But the other changes, I mean, if you care, they have to happen. But we don't know if they care.
We'll get news on it, but screw it. Sounds like ants in a boot. So,
oh, that's great.
Cool.
That's effing fantastic.
You kidding me?
I wanted to like write you a poem for the post game.
I saw it happen. I was like, oh, cool. The one thing that I wanted to watch tonight is
Yep.
cooked.
Yeah,
Cool.
I saw that too, and I was like, oh my god, my podcast partner's gonna die. He's crying a little bit inside right now.
Well, it's like, this is his opportunity, like unfettered. Nobody's gonna CJ's gonna take shots from him, but
I know what you mean though. It's yeah, I think it might have been Sean that said the unfortunate part about this is Nas and Ant are out. Like you can't even get excited about the young guys.
You can't even look at the kids right now, and it's just for everybody there, appreciate you.
We do appreciate you tonight. You have no reason to be here.
Yeah, no,
now.
seriously, and that's the thing is like one of the guys at your station, Suk, shout out Suk, who mentioned this the other day after you and I were talking about this. This is apathy. And this is the shittiest thing to talk about. It is. Like I would rather be the Detroit Pistons right now than what this is. Like if you're going to be stuck in it for a whole season, because you're going to suck with the Pistons.
Do you think they're going to be in this though the whole season?
If they don't trade CJ and Nurk, yes. I think Covington's probably in that group too.
Yeah.
If they don't trade those guys, the vibes suck. And everybody knows it.
Oh, it's a team. There was a couple cutaways on route tonight where, God bless Casey and Lamar. Like they do a great job.
They did a great job tonight. They were selling, baby.
And I'm not going to pretend to be best friends with Lamar Hurd, but like Lamar is a basketball player. He is a basketball mind. He's always caring about. Mm-hmm. He had to have been sitting there in his mind thinking what we're thinking. Like, dear God, I can't. I'm here calling this. This is what this team is. But they had a lot of cutaway shots where the Spurs would get a bucket in the first half or the second half, and you would see the bench, and the bench was just sitting like just lifeless. Lifeless. They didn't care. Like, I don't know. And look, we can get into wherever you want to take this, but I'll just I just saw a quote now, Chauncey Billups quote, "I want us to compete harder." Like, bro, cool. That's not. I do too. I'm not a damn NBA coach. Like you gotta.
That's not something you tell 10-year NBA vets.
No,
that doesn't happen.
I want us to be more competitive in every game. I don't feel like we do that, and it concerns me. And I felt that way in a lot of our wins.
Oh, he said it. Ding, 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 ding. This is not just after a loss, me saying that. Ladies and gentlemen, Downer Danny has arrived.
Chipper Chauncey's disappeared.
There it is.
Bummer Billups.
There it is. Bummer Billups. Oh, man. Oh. It took him less than 25 games to be like, fuck y'all. Sorry.
What's the quickest of a 5-year contract the guy's been asked to be let out of his contract?
Like, it's not even like, it's like, again, at least he's sitting there like, what is going on, y'all? Like, I thought I was coming in, taking over a team, offensive firepower, guys that could do some things, came in and took care of it.
You know what happened? He trusted Neil. That was his biggest mistake.
Yikes.
Your boy from the Clippers days. By the way, how long ago was that? Like, that dude, he was probably already an egomaniac in LA. It reached another level with the amount of power that he has been given here in Portland. Like, you signed on to work with a psychopath. So, like, there's a part of me that doesn't really feel bad at all. He is a first-time coach. I still can't believe he got that job to begin with, but
I mean, we knew it since February, but
I mean, yeah, this was gift wrapped by his boy, but like, don't come. Like, this is a thing. I like Chauncey Billups. I don't really have a ton of problems. I do think it's fair to wonder if he is a good coach. I'm not seeing a whole lot. So, with that being said, you asked for this, bro. Like, this was year 7 of Dame CJ. They've been bounced in the playoffs. Like, God. I don't know why he's surprised by this stuff.
I mean, that's outwardly vicious.
That is a damning quote.
That is That is, it's not me, it's you, or it's me, it's you. It's no, dog, it's you.
No, it's all you guys. It's all you. Don't blame me for this.
Don't blame me for this shit. Just
Don't
because
blame me.
your shitty game stumbled into some wins against some whack ass opponents or on a game 3 and 4 nights at home. No, don't come with me with that. Like I said, they have had 3, maybe 4 games this year. Maybe 4 games where you like, if you took a league average opponent and just like ran a simulation where they'd come out more than 50% of the time.
I don't even know where they go from here.
It's not even game 25.
Yeah, but like I started playing the schedule game a little bit. It's sprained right ankle according to Jay Allen.
Remember where you were going with this like 3 days ago?
Yes, 100%. I'm an idiot.
No,
Jay
not
Allen,
just that, but just yeah, no, Ant says it's sprained. Or
Yeah,
Dave says it's
sorry.
sprained. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. God, that's such a bad quote. Like, it's real, but it's like,
I mean, that is a damning quote.
Yeah.
Like, I just want us to compete harder. First of all, and I've said this before, I said this about Terry, and I'll say it about Chauncey. It is not a coach's job to get players to compete. You are a professional. You should have that in you. What is it that Richmond always says? But I think the sign of a good coach is something along the lines of how hard guys play for a coach.
Yeah.
Which for 8.5 years under Terry was pretty
good.
hard.
Yeah.
And I think if you would say the same thing about, Lloyd Pierce or Nate McMillan, and that kind of thing, fine. If you want to go with that stuff, that's cool. But Chauncey is supposed to be the accountability guy.
Well, come on. That was such a gimmicky thing.
I know, but that's where I'm like, you can't have it both ways.
No.
So
no.
I want to know what the talking point is right now, because we've already used they just got to shake Stotts' old habits. Well, the new system is going to take some time to install. Well, it's a really tough schedule.
It's the field goal post. They're just always being constantly moved. Instead of just saying the thing supporting the field goal is bad. It's the guy being investigated that clearly thought this was the best idea for roster construction with a top 75 player, all NBA point guard. This? Come on, man. Like, I think that's what bothers me so much about him is the attitude towards guys like in the media, like guys like us. Like, if we go to a press conference, you ask a question, a fair question, by the way, any market that cares about sports asks some of these questions, and he comes at you with this brash, egocentric laden like attitude. And it's like, you may know a lot more than me, but come on, man. Like, this has been obvious, and there's some weird thing about you that won't make that move. And you know what? When he comes back, have fun. You have fun sitting courtside with Jody, or you have fun watching this in the back in your office, throwing
because you're
shit
too angry
at a table because you're too angry. Yeah, you have fun with this.
Oh, man. Man.
Let me ask you, what is Chauncey, outside of talking to the media, like, what do you say to your team right now? How do you lost Ant, you don't have Dame.
I mean, I've heard, like, behind the scenes, like, what Chauncey says here is not what he says behind closed doors. And not to say that he's not, like, matching it up. He's ratcheting it up behind scenes, but he's just not a yeller.
But they don't care. They clearly don't care about
that. And that's what I was always trying to say. You're not going to change the behaviors and the patterns and the thoughts of guys who have been in the league for 10 years. That's not happening. You might tweak a thing here or there. You pick one or two things like, what if we would do just a little bit different, a little bit better? We'll go about this a little bit differently. That's the thing. Gabe Lauderdale says he's losing the locker room. I don't think he ever had it. But I don't think anybody was going. I don't think Popovich was going to come in there and have it. I don't think Spo was going to come in there and Spo might just be a little bit younger, but.
Well, here's the thing. If Spo was here, Spo would have had a move made.
That was also the other part of that.
Spo was not coming unless a move was going to be made.
Which is why it didn't happen.
Okay. You're probably right, but that in itself is an indictment of the team. Like
not the team, Ownership.
Well, we don't have an owner.
So are there really no substantive updates on this Olsay situation? Quick's got nothing, no rumblings. Guys, there's always rumblings. But
I mean, everybody's rumblings
things,
are kind of the same. There's just nothing concrete, you know?
And some of the rumbling stuff we can't talk about. It's not fair to people. Even people I don't like. Without having something outside of a couple things. I don't know. Eduardo says D'Antoni would have made things happen. Well, they would have completely probably abandoned the defensive side of the ball if he didn't bring in like Bedzelic or something like that. But the offense probably would have been fun.
If you weren't changing the roster, this was my point. Like when we got to the finalists and it was Becky, Chauncey, and Mike.
Yeah.
Look, this is not
NBA made sense. That's who I wanted.
Yeah. That's what position I took. I'm like, you're not going to be a good defensive team no matter who you bring in. You might as well embrace the offense and say, we're going to play the first to 135 every night. We'll see who gets there.
I don't want to get down this path too much, but I feel like I got to drive this home because some people don't. And this is going to sound like I'm being a jerk to you, Steve, but it's not what I'm going for. When you preach accountability but do nothing to back it up, then yes, it's a coaching issue. When you look at the NBA, I'm not going to tell you how to fan, but you need to understand how the NBA actually works. And I'm not saying that it's like, oh, I know it. I've been around it. I talk to players, guys. It's not hard. You cannot go in there and bench CJ McCollum. You cannot go in there and bench Damian Lillard. It's borderline being able to bench Yusuf Nurkic. We've seen how that's gone in the past. This whole, that's why I keep saying, accountability comes from kind of growing with a team. This team was never going to grow any further.
They've already blossomed. It's a flower that blossoms.
Yes, and now it's dying off. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And so Terry was there when it was a young little seedling. Mm-hmm. And they watered it and they groomed it and they did all the right things. Maybe it fell off the little stick, it's supposed to grow it up straight, but they got it back on there. And I think they took it to where the highest it could have gone. Western Conference Finals. Things had to go right for them for that to happen. But they got there.
Mm-hmm.
That's an achievement. It's an accomplishment. They were better than most teams that year. But that was it. And realistically, they should have torn it down in 2017 for keeping it a buck. When they got housed by the Pelicans, that should have been CJ's out day.
Yep.
That should have been a reset.
Yep. Nurk and CJ, by the way, because remember, Nurk got destroyed in that series by AD.
Yeah, Aminu was the one who came out looking good. He shot like 40% from three in that series. Carlos says, Anthony hurt his ankle. Yeah, it's a sprained ankle, guys.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't know.
I was just disappointed. I thought, well, I don't know how much I thought it because I know that this team's not that good, but I mean, they don't. I come on, I'm not trying to pretend here. I want to be honest. I haven't thought this team was very good all year. We have talked about it on the pod. They don't look like a team that wants to play with one another or play for each other. That in itself, just there, is huge in this league. You got to give a damn about one another, and I don't feel like they have or they do.
And they don't hate each other.
No, they don't hate. It's just like
ambivalence.
It's like roommates in college that have lived together for 3 years. You have one more year, and it's like, well, we've lived together for 3.
Let's try something a little different.
Yeah, but my thinking in tonight was, and I took San Antonio plus the 5, and I took the under. Bada boom, bada bing. I just thought that if you lost close. If you won, you barely won. 31 at home? Jakob Poeltl single-handedly destroying Yusuf.
Let's give Jakob, speaking of flowers, let's give Jakob Poeltl his flowers.
Dougie McBuckets had a 6-minute run. Nobody could guard Doug McDermott.
So here's the Spurs starters line by line. This is going to be insane. Doug McDermott, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 7 of 13, 2 of 6 from 3. Keldon Johnson.
He had 14 in the first, by the way. Yeah, 14 in the 16 in the first half.
And that was the thing. It was like you just saw these. Remember what I told you? Snake bite, snake bite, snake bite.
You even text me, and I'm like, God damn it, he was so right. It's not one snake, though. It was like 7 snakes.
Tell me that video wasn't perfect for that, though. Oh, God, he nipped me. He nipped me. He's nipping. Because that was the Spurs tonight. They just kept nipping. I was like, you've got to be, oh my God. Like, it was just dumb. Like Keldon Johnson. If I told you Keldon Johnson had 14 and 7 tonight, would you believe it? Did you realize it?
No.
That was like the line for everybody tonight. Jakob Poeltl, 14 and 9, 4 blocks, and I swear to God, every one of his blocks felt like he was sending somebody's shit into the stratosphere.
Yeah, it really did.
Oh,
it
God.
Really did.
Derek White, 12, 7, and 5. Dejounte Murray, 15, 7, and 13. He got whatever he wanted, and you know what I love about this tonight? Anthony Simons didn't really play. Damian Lillard didn't really play, and that point of attack still sucked.
Yep.
It's on Dame. It's on Dame. No, they're both not good, guys.
The playmaking, the creating, none of it was there.
So, yeah. That's starting unit for the Spurs. Pretty darn good. Derek White was a +3. All the other starters were +20 or better, with Keldon Johnson as a +30. For the Portland Trailblazers tonight, CJ McCollum, 7 of 18, 16, 4 and 2, a -28, and by God, did you feel it?
Yeah, you really could.
I mean, it was
just clank, clank, clank. You just didn't. It didn't feel good, man. It didn't feel good. And the disappointing thing with that is it's not surprising, and yet that's the number 2.
It was tough. All right, let's get into some of your guys' headlines tonight. Andy Quantz, Christmas comes early for Spurs as Blazers gift them 17 turnovers. Also, the Spurs' third road win and plenty of open threes. That's a smorgasbord, ladies and gentlemen. This is just more of a thought than anything from at PNW Sports 503. This game changes nothing, just like winning it would have. Fully healthy and optimized. We're not good enough. Time for a change.
Yeah.
Logan Euchre, here's a headline. Ugly. You haven't seen ugly until you've seen this Blazers defense. All right. At OSPM, the best way to handle this is simply not watch.
Hey, but serious question, though. I was thinking about this today. I think we've gone past that point. I don't think the fan base cares anymore, if I'm being honest with you. I didn't see pictures. I saw one dark image, and it looked like there was not a soul sitting in the 300 section. I could be wrong on that.
I don't think people were there tonight.
Well, but it felt like the 300 section was a little darker than normal because I don't think there were more than 100 people in the 300 level.
When they got the score to 15 and I felt the roar, my first thought was, is that piped in?
Would you be shocked?
Yes, because they don't do that.
Desperate times, right?
It did cross my mind. And you know why? Because the Spurs pipe in more than any team in the league.
Oh, yeah,
them
for
and
sure.
OKC, it's the amount of fake noise they pumped in the arena is gross.
Yeah.
At Zach Backpacks, I laughed when I read this. This is the great headline. Keldon Blevins three-pointer, not enough to help Blazers edge Spurs.
Can I tell you a really stupid moment? So they were going to lose this game no matter what, but there was a moment where Portland was kind of in the midst of their mini comeback. And you know what happened? Dennis Smith Jr. ruined it. He got an and one, and he decided to tell Bryn Forbes to get the fuck off him, and Bryn Forbes decided to score the next 17 points. Bryn Forbes.
I mean, saw that too.
You noticed that?
He gave him the shoulder, and he walked away, and
get the F off me. And then Bryn Forbes was like, okay. And then Bryn Forbes, legitimately, he scored the next 10 to 12 points. I was just like, oh my God. Way to wake up, Bryn Forbes.
Mark Coker says 300 was empty, but it did get loud for a second. So we do have some folks that were there tonight. But
thank you for letting us know.
We definitely wouldn't there. Felix in Portland at Felix Radio. Blazers. Blazers lose to the Spurs by 31. Wayne Hughes at Reading the Water. Blazers fans get a Jelly of the Month club instead of a bonus. That's a good one. I like that.
You know what I want? I want Neil O'Shea. I want him right here in my living room with a big old ball. I want to look him in the eye. I want to tell him, you should have traded CJ 4 years ago. You should have traded Nurk last year.
I am 100% going to end up making that video and then not posting it.
You should just, Photoshop his face onto the boss's body.
Oh, no, that's probably going to happen tonight. These are just, oh, man. at Mighty Joe. We are not the OKC Thunder. So there's that. It's just,
That's what I said. At least we're not the OKC Thunder.
it's a lot of dark headlines here that I'm not even going to read. It's good, but we're going to stay away from that for just a split second. But
Well-
I'm just, I don't even know what to do in these post-game shows. Like, so when we had Outsiders, there were shitty nights, and we did not look forward to doing those post-game shows. Like, it's just
No,
not,
nobody
it's,
wants
it's
to do
not
this shitty.
fun.
Yeah.
Like, but when you've got an hour-long post-game show and you have sponsors paying, guess what you got to do, Brandon?
Yeah.
You got to fake it till you make
Suck
it,
it up,
baby.
Buttercup.
And it's just like we were like, well, what if we didn't have to like cater to sponsors, and what if we just like did something different? And I look at it now and I'm like, it still would have sucked. The suck factor is still gonna, and it's been piling up, game after game after game after game, and I think that's the problem. It's like even the good games, I'm going to use air quotes here, haven't been good. Like the Suns game, I get why everybody likes it and everything because they won by so many, but it wasn't really a good game. It was the Suns looking really bad. I think same thing with the Grizzlies.
Yeah, when they've won some of their, like the Chicago game is probably their best game because you came back from such a big deficit. But like, yeah, to your point, during this run, how many great, Dame against Golden State going 52 and just the energy in that building that night. I was hammered. I was going nuts. Like, or when you play some of the better teams and it's a back and forth and you come out victorious, like you don't have it with this team. I don't know if I've said this. I don't know if I've ever had, well, as of late, I don't think I've ever had a season like this where people aren't texting me about this team. Like, and I'm talking about people in my life that are Blazer fans.
Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, what do you think about this?
Or, hey, I can't believe, how do you do this? How did you lose? Or, hey, man, how about that team, huh? What about them? How legit? I don't have anything. It's dark. And I'm wondering, like, how bad Roots ratings are right now. I'm wondering how bad radio play-by-play ratings are. Like, not to call out anybody. I think the fan base is in a collective F this team, man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what the team I'd say is. Which version of the Blazers would you go to compare this one to? Like, are we going to 05? It's been a while for this city, man, but this is bad. Like,
This is, again,
this is even apathy. This is almost a hate. People almost hate this team.
no, because that would be showing like actual love and emotion right now. I'm not feeling like love and emotion, even a negative one. It's more of a, like, what is this, man? Like, I don't.
Well, that's how I feel about people I don't like.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Who are these? I don't care.
I started thinking about this, but like, there's been some like bad times. There's been Yusuf Nurkic's injury. There's LaMarcus Aldridge leaving. Blown 2016, 2017. Getting swept in the Western Conference Finals. But like, even when peaks and valleys, even like just when things went bad, there was always something there. Outside of honestly, outside of Ant, Nas, Nance, Greg Brown, I don't get a lot of joy out of this team.
Greg, you mentioned Greg Brown. I mean, we're lucky if we get to see him play.
Well, the way they're playing recently.
Yeah, because they suck.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It's just, do you get to a point? Is there something here with this team where, as bad as it looks, as sideways as it is, can it get worse? Like with this team right now?
Yeah, it can always get worse.
What would make it worse? Because I've struggled to kind of figure that out. Because I think like an actual like fist fight in the locker room would actually make things better.
How can it get worse? It could get worse. Unfortunately, the darkest version is certain players saying, "I want out."
Okay, that's worse.
I mean, I'm not saying that's happening. I'm holding him to his word, but like, you think this dude's watching this team and thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna come back and we're gonna be great." He knows what this team is. He's one of the biggest competitors in this league.
Third eye, baby.
And he also, by the way, how many people are in his ear? You really want to, this is what you want your legacy to be?
Telling you that third eye.
Because if Neil ain't getting
pretty shiny.
fired, Neil is going to be back next year and the year after that until that contract is over. And your owner doesn't give a damn because she just wants everybody to buy tickets and give her money. So it's just like, I don't know. It can always get worse is my point. Always get worse.
It can. I'm obviously using a little bit of hyperbole there, as I am wont to do. But this team is supposed to be a good team, but it hasn't been a good team. Like, it really hasn't. They've been a subpar team that has lucked into a few things. That's a little frustrating. I derailed you earlier. You said that they've got some games coming up. When you look at this team, after how they've kind of played really the last 3 games, even though they beat Detroit, they play basically any other team with that effort and the way they played. They'd probably lose that game like they did tonight.
Yes, and Detroit was ice cold in that game.
They were awful. Don't get it twisted.
They couldn't buy
they were
bucket.
Sideways. With all of that, what do you think is going to happen for the next 2 weeks while Dame's out?
Okay, so if we think that's going to happen, right? We don't know. Dame might really only miss 4 games and then come back because he sees a schedule like everybody else and goes, oh, damn, we can't afford this. But if that happens.
So basically, Dame is back after the 15th.
Are you beating Boston?
No.
Do you think you're beating the Clippers?
No.
At Golden State?
Hell no.
Minnesota?
I have that game as a coin toss before.
Okay.
So
I don't have faith in them. I think they're a young swagger team.
I'll take Portland in that instance.
Okay. Phoenix?
Hell no.
Memphis?
Hell no.
Okay, and then that's when maybe Dame comes back. But even then, Charlotte at Memphis.
They'll beat Hornets at home.
I don't know if they will.
They'll beat the Hornets at home. They're like Portland on the road.
Let's make a beer bet on that one.
Okay.
I think that'd be a fair one.
Yeah.
And then you get New Orleans, thank God. And then, it's Brooklyn coming to town, Dallas coming to town, Utah coming to town.
Remember how I said, I don't think anybody really realizes how tough this schedule is this month? It was like, oh, they got a bunch of home games. It's easier. It's like, yeah, no, but these are the teams that are actually good. And then this season,
and then you're at the Lakers. LeBron's back. AD's going to play.
On New Year's Eve.
Atlanta at home, Miami, Cleveland. I mean,
Cleveland might have everybody back by then.
Danny, we're looking at if we're playing this game based on what we've seen from this team. I don't know if they're 500, man. We might be looking at a sub 500 team. That schedule's not great. It's just not. And I don't even know what Dame's going to be when he comes back.
I don't know. I know what you're gonna be if I don't get you out of here, though. So it's 10 o'clock. It's past your bedtime, ladies and gentlemen. Portland Trailblazers do play again, but not until Saturday. It is actually a 7 o'clock tip-off. I thought it was gonna be an early one, but it's not. So whatever. I get to have my MRI tomorrow on my hips.
That's good news.
It'll be more fun than this game. Womp, 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 womp. That sound for 25 minutes will be more entertaining this game.
I put $20 on the Cowboys to cover a 6.5 point spread, and they easily did that.
Yeah, they were not good, the Saints.
Well, Taysom Hill sucks. So,
listen, great money if you can find it.
I mean, yeah, good for him. 32-year-old guy acting like he's gonna be a franchise quarterback.
You'd love to see it. Do you want to go at 5 on Saturday?
TBD.
All right. There you go, folks.
TBD.
Live planning. There you go. We'll figure it out as we go. We'll go 5, 5:30, maybe 6. It'll be in that range. Wish we had some more fun tonight, guys. Really do.
I actually really enjoyed a lot of the tweets.
Mine or theirs?
Everybody's.
Oh, okay. I was thinking theirs were better. Theirs were good tonight.
There's something about suffering together that.
That's what this is. That's like it was like, why do you do more than 5 minutes for a post game games like this? I'm because the suffering helps. Shared, psychologically, it does. There's a whole bunch of studies out there.
Scott, I had somebody just tweet. Scott said, "If you were a Blazer, would you enter the transfer portal?"
Where's Lincoln Riley when you need him? By the way, he just showed up with another 5-star.
Nah, now you can't outdo Oregon.
Nah, definitely not.
Oregon owns SoCal, man.
All right, speaking of owning, with the Portland Trailblazers take on the Boston Celtics, and Jason Tatum has owned this team since he was a rookie. So
yes,
that should be fun.
Yeah.
Tune in. We'll go at 5, 5:30, or 6. We'll figure figure it out. Find us on social media at Danny Meringue, at Jack Ramses, at Brandon Sprague. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Get us wherever you get podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe to the show on YouTube. Help us grow the channel. If you made it this far in, you are 33 minutes after I edit out the intro before we get going. But you get it. You're 30-plus minutes in, and you're still commiserating over the Portland Trail Blazers. But if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, do it. So the next time the Blazers lose woefully and you don't want to be alone, you can do it with us. You can have it at the ready. Thank you all so very much. This is my NPR voice. Do you like this, Brandon?
I do like that. It's it's unfortunate the Blazers fell tonight to the San Antonio Spurs. So thank you for having me, and I rather enjoyed this conversation.
Well, I'm glad you could partake as well, Mr. Sprague. On that note, we'll get out of here. You all have a wonderful night. Take care. Ta-ta.